Okay, good morning. Let me get my computer up here. That's how I knew my post was sideways. Sometimes I forget to do that. I am Stampin' Dee Dee, and this is Stampin' Thursday. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love what I do. I love doing these Facebook Lives. And I love showing you the fun things that I either find on the web, which there's a lot out there, or I come up with myself. And today's presentation is one of those. We are looking at a hanging window card, a hanging window frame. And then we're going to look at a card that I made from this frame and show you how to do it. So I raised my camera up, so hoping that you will be able to see this entire thing, although I think it's still going to be hard to see. Maybe if I do it this way. There we go. At least you get an idea of what it looks like. And this was created using several sets. It was created using Country Flowers and the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and then it was using the Unbounded Love stamp set. Faith is being sure of what we cannot see. Hope is believing in a brighter tomorrow, and love never gives up. So I love those, and I wanted to use them on something, and this was just the perfect thing. I'm going to hang it right behind me on my wall. But I wanted to show it to you. I saw this. I believe it was one of the artisan design team members maybe had done. I went back and looked, and I could not find it. I looked everywhere, and I could not find it. But I had seen this and just loved it. I just loved it. So I went on what she did and changed up the sentiment and changed up the colors a little bit. But I definitely cased what she did. These are the colors that I used to make this one. And I did that because the colors in my studio in here are orange and green and black. They're pretty colors, so bright colors. And so I wanted this to coordinate with that. All right. So what we used on this is the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and I want to show you that. If you have not taken a look at that in your new catalog, and I hope you have a new catalog, but this is the paper. So you've got all of these woodsy top papers. I'm going to start on this side. All right, so this is a gray wood pattern, and on the back is just gray and looks like maybe crushed curry, daffodil delight. Then this is another wood pattern using more of the pecan pie and the crumb cake, and then a more intense pattern on the back. And isn't this pretty? Very distressed, aged look. Love that. And just a paneled look on the back. And then this one, you can see the grains of the wood. And then this has got the petal pink on the back mixed in. This one. And this is actually what I used on this particular frame, with a real dark grainy look on the back. And then this is what I used. This is what I'll be using on the card that we create today. I love these colors. Isn't that pretty? And then just a sort of a misty moonlight on the back. I wanted you to see the papers that were in that set because they are just so gorgeous. All right. So I also pulled a bird out of a different set. I used linen. No, actually what I used was the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. I used this. And because the wood grain had gray in it, I used the gray. And let's see. I also pulled, I think, a butterfly. Yeah, a butterfly. I didn't write down. I didn't write down what set it came from. So, one of our current sets, though. All right. So, we're going to set this aside. And I'm going to show you the card that I created from the same concept. Now, I'm going to bring this down just a little bit now. All right. So this is the card that I made using the very same concept, the window frame. And this is using that other pattern that I told you about. And then this is the Playing in the Rain set. I made this for my granddaughter, who is now a junior in college, starting nursing school, but she's serving at a summer camp, a Christian camp this summer, and she loves turtles. So I'm making this for her, just to send to her as an encouragement. But on the window, I've stamped Sending Love. And this on the inside, now you could sign it along the bottom, or you could write a note and sign it on the back. All right, so how did we do this? Well, let's start with a 4x4. You need 2 sheets of the Designer Series paper, 4x4. So they need to be the exact same size. I want them going the same way. And then you need a piece of window sheet. See if I can pick this up. A window sheet that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, because we're actually going to cut a hole in our Designer Series paper using the Stylish Shapes die. And we're going to use this one right here. And we're going to cut a hole in our Designer Series paper. And this is about, what size is this? This is about 2 3/4 square. So our window sheet is 3 1/4. You just want it to be a little bit bigger than your hole so that you can use adhesive on it and put it in. So we're going to do that real quick. I'm going to cut the hole in our Designer Series paper, cut a window in it, and it's the same thing that's done on this. A window is cut in the Designer Series paper, only you do 3 of them, 3 sets of your Designer Series paper for this. But you only need 1 for this, and I'm going to bring in my mini cut and emboss, and plate 1, and then the plate 2, and I'm going to put this, oh, you know what? It's not going to fit. I didn't do it with this one before, and I didn't realize that it wasn't going to fit. So I'm going to move this over so we don't mess it up. Move my Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm going to bring in the big boy. All right. I sure didn't think about that. Now, I want these to stay together. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put a piece of tape down. And then I'm going to center this. Now, if you want to measure, if you're that person, and I know some of you are, you can measure and it'll come in about, what, 5/8? Let's see if it's 5/8 from here. I'll move it up. About a 1/2 inch. About a 1/2 inch from all sides. And then I'm going to secure that as well. Grab my number 3 plate, and we're going to cut it. Piece of tape off. I've used and reused this. Oh dear. I have used it and reused it, and my goodness, it looks like it was trying to pull the paper off. So now I'm going to have to glue that down. My goodness gracious. So this is going to go on. I have used those so many times. I can't believe it tried to pull the paper off. All right, so after you've cut this, then you're going to have your window. You'll have this piece. You'll have 2 of them to use on another project. So be sure and keep those in with your paper. Now let me glue this down. Oh my, it's the first time that has happened with that tape. And you know, you might know it would be on live course, right? Always. Always there. And we'll just turn, well, no, we're not going to turn this to the back. We're going to use it. I could turn it to the back, but if I do that, then these dots are not going to be as pronounced. So, I'll show you. See, they're not even there. So I could do it on the back, but I'm going to leave it on the front. I think it'll be fine. Make sure I didn't glue these together. No. All right. So we're going to set our Stylish Shape die aside. And I have already cut my window sheet. So I'm going to set this aside now. Because anything else I cut, I'm going to be able to use my mini. All right. Pick these up. My window sheet, I just cut it with my trimmer, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. All right. So what I want to do is kind of see how kind of place it on here, because I want to do my sentiment right at the top. And this time, because this one is for my granddaughter, I want my sentiment to say happy birthday. So we're going to do the same image on it, but I do want my sentiment to say happy birthday. So let me put it on here. It's not going to fit on that one. Get another one. So I'm going to put my happy birthday right there. Now, on the window sheet, you have to use Stays On ink. So I'll get out my StazOn, ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it over here. I want to stamp it once to make sure I'm getting good coverage, because it's the first time I've used this stamp with StazOn ink. All right. So now we're ready to position it, and I'm going to position it right here. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Now, I will have to use StazOn ink cleaner, and I'll do that in a minute. I just spray it on a paper towel and then daub this on the paper towel. But you do have to use a special cleaner. All right. And I'm not going to stamp anything else on my window. You also want to let this dry a minute. But to position it in here, I'm going to use glue dots. It just was easier for me to do that. Then I didn't have to worry about glue inching out over my window. All right, so I'm just going to take a glue dot and I'm going to put one right here. I'm just going to put several around here so that I know my window frame is secure. By the way, thank you for watching my video. If you're watching it live, I would love for you to give me a hello. Let me know that you're watching. Thank you if you are. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for doing that. I'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell. Then you'll be notified every time I post a video. I do this every Thursday, and I do something different every Thursday. And then once a month, I do a Dying to Know, where I take a stamp set and a die set, a bundle, and we just unwrap that. We figure out what the pieces are and how to use them. And that is on the first Monday evening of every month. No, I'm sorry. It's the first Tuesday. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's the first Tuesday evening. I have another meeting on the first Monday, and so I was getting that confused. The first Tuesday of every month. All right, one more glue dot, and I think we'll have this little window secure. Once again, I'm going to make sure it's going the right direction, and it is. And now I'm trying not to touch it because I'm not sure if it's dry yet. And there was a little hair under there. All right, and when I get it down here, I just want to make sure that my sentiment shows and that it's straight. There we go. All right. Now we have our window in. You could do whatever you want on this window. Now, when you make this, the hanging window, the triple window, your ribbon is 2 inches. Each of these are 2 inches, and the easiest way to do it is to put a glue dot, and I measured it like 7/8 of an inch inside from the edge, and go ahead and put your ribbon down and do that on each one. Put it in the order that you want them, and then put your ribbon down before you put this down. And then at the top, you're going to do a loop. And you'll want to get that down before you put the top on as well. That's the easiest way to do that. And then you can decorate after you put your windows together. So now we're ready to put this window frame on. And for this, I am going to use just the tiniest string of glue right around the edge. I don't want to get it close to the window, but this will allow me to move it around a little bit too. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to line up the bottom edges right here and here. I need to move it over just a little bit. It gives you room to make it right. And then you want to let it dry. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Okay. Sorry. We're going to open that up right there, because you also need a piece of Very Vanilla that is 4 inches this way, the same as your window frame, and 4 1/4 this way, and then at 1/4 of an inch you want to, 4 inches by 4 1/4, and you want to score it at 1/4 inch, because you want it to do this. And this goes inside this. So I'm going to put another little line of glue right here. So that this will stick. And I'm just going to butt that up, right up against it. I want it all to be even. Keeps scooching down. Oops. Every time I let go, it moves a little bit now. There we go. Hold it with my... So you want to get that down, and then you want to get this down. So all of that goes down together. You can use tear and tape for that. You can use the Stampin' Seal Plus. But I always feel like I need to have the room to move it around. So I use the wet glue. All right. Now, if it sticks out a little bit like it does here, you can always trim that. And I want to do that before I get anything else on it. So I'm going to just make the slightest little trim. And you can do it with scissors too, and that might even be easier. But I think this will get it. Yeah, perfect. All right. Now on the inside, I went ahead and stamped clouds from the Playing in the Rain. And I'm going to put some flowers at the bottom. But when I stamped this, I used Smoky Slate ink. Oops. And I'm going to stamp off, because I want it to be really faint. So I'm going to stamp off and then stamp it. And I want it to be right below the window. And I want it to be to the right a little bit. So I'm going to bring it right over here and stamp it. There we go. All right. And then I also want to stamp, let me go ahead and clean this. I can clean this right now. Okay. I also want to put some flowers at the bottom. And that's also in the Playing in the Rain set. And I'm going to stamp those in the same, but I'm not going to stamp them off. I am going to test it, make sure I'm getting good coverage. Now, I do want these to be, I want them to show. There we go. All right. So we're going to color the flowers just a little bit. And I'm going to use Petal Pink because that's the color that's in my frame. And I want them to show up, and I don't plan to blend. So I'm just going to just use the Petal Pink Dark. Do the petals. This is easy coloring here. Do you like to color with Stampin' Blends? Do you enjoy that? I really do. I'm going to go back over these again just to make them a little bit darker. You know, you can layer color on. So every time you go over it, it gets a little bit darker. Good morning, Kay. Hi, Ruth. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. All right. I think we've got it. All right. And then I'm going to use, I'm going to do a Calypso Coral. Let's see. That's Cajun Crepes. I want a Calypso Coral. I want a Calypso Coral in the center. Just so it shows up a little more. And then we're going to use Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to use the light for the leaves. All right. There we go. We've got our flower done. See how this is coming together? Now, we're going to stamp our turtle. And we'll stamp him, cut him, and then we'll put him on the front. And I'm going to stamp him in Smoky Slate. Good. You like using your blends. I do too. All right. Let's and I'm doing this on Very Vanilla since my background is Very Vanilla. All right, and I'm going to use Misty Moonlight and Pool Party and I think that was it. Misty Moonlight and Pool Party, and then the gray, the Smoky Slate. So I'll go ahead and color his shell with the Smoky Slate. And again, I'm really just wanting to get the image colored. I may come back and shade it just a tiny bit, but my main goal is just to get the image colored. And I'm going to do this part of the shell as well. So going around these pieces, you really don't have to worry too much about it though, because you're going to come over and color them. But his shell is so pretty. So many ways you can do this turtle shell. So many colors you can use. All right, we got that. And then the pool party is his legs and his neck, his head. It's a funny turtle, huh? Funny looking turtle. I think he's so cute, though. I think my granddaughter is just going to love him. We just got back from the beach. I got to spend a week with my grandkids. It was so much fun. All right, we got that part done. I am going to use a little bit of the dark gray smoky slate and just come along here and add a little bit of shadow. Just a little bit, not much. And then I'll come back with my light and blend that in. Okay, just a little bit of a shadow. Now we're going to do our the spots and the shells, and I'm going to use the light Misty Moonlight, the dark Misty Moonlight, and the dark Pool Party for that. So I'll do the light first. And you know, it doesn't really matter where you do it. I mean, I try to scatter them around, but there's an odd number of, so let me do it this way. Probably a little different than the one I just did. And so the dark, I'll put it over here. And maybe yeah, right here. I'll come back and do it again so it'll be really dark. All right, and then the Pool Party. We'll use the dark Pool Party. And I am going to come back over this. It almost feels a little dry. I'm having to replace my blends. I've had them and used them, and I have to keep a list going of the blends that I need to replace. I forget. All right, there we go. And then the flower needs to be petal pink, like the ones in the background. With a Calypso Coral Center. I think I used gray on that card. All right, I think we're done with our turtle. So I'm going to get the die. This is the turtle. And get my mini. Number one, my number two, and I'll just cut this off right here so I don't have to fool with the, put my die on there. I want to be sure and get my flower just right. And hopefully this one is not going to peel. I was amazed that that did that. It has not done that, and those have been used and used and used. All right, we'll cut this out, and we're going to cut one more thing. I have a fence, from the same set, from the Playing in the Rain, and I just thought that added a little bit of depth. So let me get this off. Very carefully remove that. Put my die away and get the fence die. All right, here's the fence die. And I'm going to use crumb cake for that. Get all the little pieces out of the crumb cake fence. Put my die back so I don't lose it. Pieces in the trash. Now the one thing I do want to do with my fence is I want to distress it just a little bit. So I'm going to use my blending brush and pecan pie. I don't want to do much, but I do want to just add a little bit of distress to it. Now, I just didn't want it to all be the same color. That's good. All right. The other thing I'm going to use is from the Country Flowers set. There are some dies in here that cut flowers. All of these dies cut little flowers. And I keep the flowers that I cut that I don't use, and I know I've got some petal pink flowers in there, and maybe even, you know what, we can use that one. It'll be all right. So I want to use those. Oh, there's a different, I like that orange though. We're going to go with that. Put these back in. I just keep them in with my dies and stamps. And I always find a use for them. All right, here we go. I'm going to put my fence down first. And I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. Let's see. Right over here and right on this end on the bottom. So we're going to put a little bit right there and over here on the bottom. Right there. And right here by the bottom. And then we're going to put our turtle on with a dimensional, because I want him to stand up just a little bit. So we're going to put that dimensional on the bottom and on the end of his shell so they don't show. So I'm going to put it way at the bottom and right up here. That ought to work perfect. There we go. This one shows just a little bit. So I'm going to cut a little bit of it off. There. Now it should work perfect. There. Now it won't show. Nope, doesn't show. All right, and then I also added these flowers with just a dot of glue. And just as another little point of interest, right here on the front. Okay. Somebody is going to enjoy their window birthday card, aren't they? There we go. And you can even see the fence and the turtle. I keep going out of the picture, don't I? I'm sorry. You can even see the fence and the turtle and the flower a little bit through the window from the back side. And all we lack now is a piece of ribbon. Let me cut that. It's a piece of the petal pink. It's a ribbon combo in the new catalog. And it's petal pink. One is petal pink and one is white. So we just want a small bow. So this is just one of the fun ways to use the window sheets. We use them, I showed them when I did the Latte Love, how to use the window sheet for the coffee pot. Another fun way to use the window sheet. And again, I'm going to use a glue dot to put my ribbon on. And we are done. There we go. There's our card, our window frame card. And here is our hanging window frame. It was so much fun to use the country flowers and create all these fun little pieces. And I just did a little of everything. And then I just had them sitting out, and I just picked out what I wanted to use, picked and matched. All right. So I hope I've inspired you to try a window frame card. Now, these cards are 4x4. So I made my own envelope. I actually did it out of 2 different pieces of retired, older paper. So for my granddaughter, this is just going to slip right in here. So next Thursday, if you don't already know how to make an envelope, next Thursday, I'm going to show you how to make this envelope. It's so easy to make these envelopes. And it gives you flexibility then on the size of card that you can use. All right, here we are. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Kay and Ruth. It's so good to see you. And those of you who are watching the replay, thank you so much for doing that. And if you're local, you know, this time of the year when the new catalog comes out, demonstrators often have a buy one, get one to clean out some of their older products and make room for the new. And I'll be doing that Saturday, June 1st. I'm having a buy one, get one. All of my retired products will be half price. Everything out there will be half price, including paper and ribbon and embellishments, stamps and dies and punches. And whatever you purchase from my retired products, whatever that total purchase amount is, you will be able to order from the new catalog the same amount already paid for. free. So buy one, get one. Buy some of the retired things, get some of the new things free. So if you're local, I would love for you to come to that. And this is Denton, Texas, and you can message me or email me, SusieZoo@Verizon.net, and I'll send you the address. And I would appreciate if you'd let me know that you're coming so I can have enough make and takes ready. And I would love to see you on June 1st. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye to Kay and Ruth, and see you later.